Hey there writers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Emma and I write romance and I'm based in the UK. So recently I have been thinking a little bit more about my author career and exactly what I've done to get me to the position that I'm in now, which is that I am a hybrid author. Most of my books though are with a traditional publisher, and I'm currently writing my first series, which is a contemporary romance series set in a fictional town in the UK. And I've got several titles behind me now, and I really do feel that I do have a career as a writer. So how did I get here? And in particular for today's video, what things did I do right on my journey to get to this position? So one of the things which has led to me thinking about this is that a couple of months ago I read a book by a friend of mine called Thomas J. Beleza. He has a YouTube channel which I will link down below. His book is called The Foundation of Longevity, and in it he talks about his own career and he gives advice to creatives, not just writers, but also artists, actors, directors, screenwriters, comics, all kind of different people, but basically how to go about getting to the point where you have a career which pays you a full-time wage. Basically, he's not talking about getting your big break and making millions and millions. He's talking about being able to live off what you earn doing what you love, and it's a really, really interesting read. There's a lot of great advice in it. Having read it and thinking a little bit more, I realised that there were some things which I maybe could have done differently. There are some things that I'm glad that I did the way that I did. I definitely sort of fell into a writing career, and that's something that I will talk about in a later video. But today I was just wanting to focus on kind of the good things that I did, the positive things which I feel helped me to get to the point where I am today. So in no particular order at all, first of all, we have that I took advantage of opportunities. So when I was offered opportunities, even if I was maybe a little bit nervous about taking them up, or I wasn't completely sure what they would lead to, I did try to take advantage of them. So that doesn't mean that I necessarily went and took on things that I really didn't want to do. I will talk about that a little bit later and how I don't do that. But if they were a little bit out of my comfort zone, so I've done things like speaking at conferences before, for example. I'm a complete introvert. I hate speaking in front of people, and yet I did that and it was a great experience and it led to some great connections and things like that. So I took advantage of that. If I have ever been offered the opportunity to have an agent or a publisher read some of my work, for example, I've always followed through with that. If they wanted to see more of my work than I had available, I would make sure that I got it to them within the time frame. I've never missed a deadline, and that just means that I can honestly say that I haven't missed out on things because of anything that I've done. If I have missed out on things, it's because of something outside of my control. So the publishing company aren't taking on any new writers in my field, for example, or it was something that I genuinely wasn't able to do because of time constraints or where I live or something like that. So number two is kind of a double whammy. So it's doing things on my own terms and also stepping back when I needed to. So I'm a big believer in your gut feeling, and if something tells you that something isn't right, then you shouldn't do it. Also, not a believer in my work being the most important thing in my life. I definitely don't work full-time hours most of the time. Sometimes I will if I'm on a deadline, but it'll just be for a short period. And I've always been very, very aware of my priorities. So for example, at one point a few years ago, I wasn't able to write as I wanted to. I was having to force it, and I didn't feel that it was my best work because I was unwell. I had a problem with this ear, and it just meant that I wasn't able to focus properly, and editing in particular was very, very difficult. So at that point I needed to step back. I explained to my publisher what had happened, and although I did produce all of the books that were under my contract at the time, I did not produce any more for quite some time. I took some time off. I waited to feel better and to be in a position where I was able to write the books that I knew I was capable of writing. Number 3 is that I learned how to brand myself. As I said earlier, I am an introvert. I don't have a lot of interest in putting myself out on social media and sharing particularly personal things in my life. I also don't want to be on social media posting every day. So I knew that I needed to work out a way that I would be able to market myself effectively, but in a way that I was comfortable with. And so I taught myself how to do this, and it actually resulted in this book, I'd Rather Be Writing, Create and Perfect Your Author Brand. So everything that I learned, I popped in this book. It also has lots of tips and advice from other authors in all kinds of different genres. And basically the point of this book is to make your marketing of yourself and of your books work for you, and to do it in a way that you are comfortable with. Not everybody wants to post on X 20 times a day. So what are you comfortable doing? And it's teaching you how to work out the most effective means to market yourself so that you are making best use of your time and you can get back to writing. And at number 4, I diversified. I became a freelance developmental editor, a creative writing instructor, and a book coach. This helped me in many ways. So the first thing that it did is that it took away the worry that I had about book sales dropping and me not earning the income that I was used to. So I was earning good money, and then I said earlier about the problem with my ear, and I had to step back and I couldn't write for a while. Obviously, my books were not selling well during that time. Actually, I ended up getting the rights back from my publisher, and then they were republished again, but I didn't have that income, and I really didn't like that feeling. So I wanted to make sure that if something like that happened again, I had backups, or just if book sales completely tanked, I had other things that were going on in the background. So I enjoy all of the extra things that I do. They're all book related, and they're also helping me because they are making me a better writer. When I am helping somebody to plot out their book, it's teaching me more about plotting and how it works. When I'm teaching somebody in my creative writing class, again, it's teaching me those concepts that I'm explaining, but I'm also learning from them. Similarly, developmental editing, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy helping people with their manuscripts, but also it gets me thinking about my own writing and what works and what doesn't work in other people's manuscripts. So it's definitely improved my writing and helped my career from that point of view, as well as the money that it brings in. And finally, at number 5, we have starting a YouTube channel. So the obvious reason why this has helped my writing career is that I've got followers on YouTube who buy my books. YouTube does definitely sell books, maybe not thousands of books, but I definitely have people who watch my videos who do buy my books as soon as they come out, so that's lovely. But it has also helped me to be able to speak to a camera and learn other skills that go along with making videos, and just to be able to share more about myself and my writing as well. So I would say that that has definitely helped my writing career. Well, thank you very much for watching. I do hope that this was interesting for you. Next week will be the things that I believe that I did wrong when I was establishing my writing career, so that should definitely be a fun video. If you have enjoyed this, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, because we have a lot of fun on this channel, and I will catch you in the next one.